I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I so move.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's read department reports. Sam? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to excuse Linda for tonight's meeting because she's still not able yet, but she is getting better.
Good.
So that's positive. So anyway, Sam?
Evening, Council, Mayor. The Operations are normal. As you all heard, we did have one little crazy Friday night. We had an actual bank robbery in the city of Toledo, and the only one that I know ever. Had a lot of help from both, or the Sheriff's Department. Shayla's PD brought their K9 down. Winlock PD came over. Everybody was fast response to that. We had some citizen involvement that was crucial. They stay safe when they did it, but it was crucial to our investigation. And within 2 hours, we were at the suspect's parents' place, seizing the truck. Suspect's currently on the run, but we know who he is, and we served a search warrant on the truck today. So we're probably going to put out an attempt to locate for that individual tomorrow. Questions?
Any questions for Sam? Thank you, Sam. Mike?
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
A couple things. Gotten back on the meter thing. We hired an extra helper today. He seemed to do pretty good for his first day. So we'll run him through the mill the rest of the week and see how he fares. It looks like he's going to work out pretty good. Also, we ended up going to a Lions Club meeting and talked to him about maybe donating some money for the park projects that the park board wants to do. And they ended up giving us $1,000 to pitch in for that. So we'll see if we can round up money from anywhere else, and we'll add up the tally to see just what the total cost for everything will be. And then I'll come back and give you a report on what we might need to raise, what's left. So other than that, any questions?
Do we usually send a thank you note like to the Lions Club from the city for their donation, or?
We could, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of I thought it was very cool of them to
Yeah.
go ahead, make a motion, and it got seconded right away. So really, I thought that was, and I thanked them twice. So, and their president, Dan there, he seemed pretty positive about everything. So, yeah, it was good.
Mike, could you give a couple pointers on what we're doing, what we'd like to do at the park? I know the park board's talked about it too, so.
Yeah, and so I think it was the last packet, the list was in there. So we want to do a public fire pit. Since the consensus is not doing the individual fires at each site for the campers, they want to do something they can all get together and be. So there'd be just one fire pit. And then there's some rock work to do around the dump station. It needs some attention. It needs to be widened out a little bit. So that was on their list also to get that done. One of the bigger things were the electrical panel. Trying to get a hold of a couple of electricians now to come in and look at it and kind of give an idea of what they might charge to do that. Also, there's some extra parking in there, and some rocking around the drives and all that stuff. I think they want to do some tent sites and all that. So a lot of rock, which is not going to be very expensive, but it's just time consuming but it is going to cost some money. So, and there might be some equipment rental in there, rollers and such, compactors. So.
Is there any questions for Mike? Thank you, Mike. Michelle?
So in your packet, there was a notification that the Housing Summit got changed to December. So the two people that volunteered for that, you should have gotten information in your city email also about that. And along with the Park Board, there is still 2 vacancies on Park Board, and it's for inside city limits people. It must be 18 registered voter. So it's been, those 2 positions have been vacant for a long time. So it'd be nice to get those filled. I know Park Board does meet during the day, which might make it a little bit more difficult for some people at 3 o'clock on Wednesdays, I think quarterly, and then more often if needed. So if you guys know of anyone, even you guys know of anyone that would like to be, help out with park on the Park Board, that would be great. So that's all I have unless there's any questions. I have not heard back from the food bank. They have not responded to my letter at all.
Okay.
What's the next?
We'll probably have to get lawyer involvement. Yeah, a little stronger. Yeah. It really is. You're right. It is. Make sure you hit your button when you talk.
I'm sorry,
please.
I'll officially, yes, sorry. That's,
Because nobody heard what you said.
it's
on Zoom.
unacceptable to keep a public building in a state that is unsafe to the public.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, that's all the committee reports. Sounding good. Let's move on to public hearing on improved street vacate, St. Helens Street special presentation. It's in our packets. And then what color it was.
So this is the public hearings side of it. So if the public is here to speak about the street vacation on St. Helens, please step up and state your name and your comments for or against. Mayor, if there's nobody that wishes to speak out, the only comment that we did receive was from the cemetery. They do not wish to participate in the street vacation. They don't want to have ownership of any of that street. So,
Yeah, it's the yellow one. Okay.
Yeah.
No other comments? So let's move on.
close the
Close
public
it.
hearing.
Close the public hearing. Public comments on agenda items. Any public comments on agenda items? Nothing. Move on to new business. Ordinance number 767, St. Helens Street vacation, first reading. Hang on. I know I had it somewhere. Okay, ordinance number 767, an ordinance of the city of Toledo vacating the 60 by 60 section of the west end of unimproved St. Helens Street adjacent to lots 7 through 9, blocks 11, Kellogg's second addition to the city of Toledo parcel number 006994-00-00. I'll entertain a motion to pass this.
I make a motion that.
Emily? There you go.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 767 to vacate the 60 by 60 section of the west end, unimproved end of St. Helens Street. Will that do it?
Do I hear a second? It's been moved in second. Any more discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 2, personal service agreement. That's a brown one, I think.
So this is your tan color. So the park board did work on the new personal service agreement. So this is a draft. So it's for you to bring forth your comments on it before we send it off to our insurance company. All contracts with the city have to go through our insurance company. And so they will look at it too and see if there's additional language that needs to be put in there or something that they don't like that's in there. So this is your time to speak out. I know Ron had contacted me earlier today and did have a couple comments about it. Ron, did you want to go over your comments?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Speak loud.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, the only concern I had is that we might want to add a couple places where we could add additional duties. And we can also consider adding additional compensation if a person possesses skills, and we would add duties and then pay them additionally for that. And not to put those out, but rather to just have a line so that whenever we have an individual that we're considering, we could possibly modify the agreement accordingly. That was the only thing that I thought. I thought rest of it was pretty good.
Okay, so what Ron said is that his comments were to add additional, a couple places for additional duties could be added if something new came up. And then also add a line for additional compensation if something were to come up that we could actually pay for that to be done. And that could be in here as kind of just a line if, I don't know, certain things that were going to be done, then they could possibly be paid for if we had that line.
Sorry. You definitely want to have documentation and a receipt and things that you could have a paper trail with those as well. So how would we define what job is what? I think we'd have to think about that too, but I think that's a great idea. I did have something as well. There was under restroom/showers, there's clean restrooms twice daily. And then during the off season, the restrooms need to be checked daily. And then on the opposite page, is it the opposite page? Where is it? Somewhere on here, it said, it was confusing. Oh, here we go. Clean restrooms daily, may require twice daily. So I feel like it's kind of a little bit slightly redundant, but maybe it's for more clarification and I'm just slightly.
Okay, it is talking about two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
restrooms and showers, maybe it needs to be more defined. These things are for the Kemp Olson Memorial Park.
Yeah.
And then on that second page where you saw it, it's talking about the downtown parks.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a good catch, though. I think maybe some more clarification.
Just a little
Kemp
bit.
Olson Memorial Park versus downtown parks.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And that was my only deal and guess it was redundant, but that's it. Other than that, it looks good.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, my question was, according to this, we're going to do a contract on a yearly basis.
Yes.
So it's terminated after 1 year.
Correct.
Then it says under park host about submitting a checklist at the end of the month. Is this for the purpose of being an evaluation? I think park host should be evaluated at the end of the year. But I don't see anything in there about evaluations.
There is a checklist. We didn't know that you guys would, I mean, it's kind of lengthy, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to see that too, what all was on the checklist. That will be turned in monthly to us, so we could see that these things have been done.
Happening.
So we can get those to you if you like.
Or we could come down and check them out at the.
Yeah, you could come look at
Yeah, I'll
City
just
Hall
come
too.
look. Yeah, okay. I just thought there should be an evaluation. Then the other thing I noticed, mowing and everything, but I don't see anything about park benches or park tables being removed and stuff during the winter time? I know we've had some wear and tear on them, but I didn't see anything in here about that.
Yeah, Public Works, generally, they do it with their
They do? Okay.
tractor because they're very heavy.
I'm new at this, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are my only questions.
Okay,
So do we need a motion to accept
Yes,
this?
I need a
I make a
mo-
motion that we accept the City of Toledo Personal Service Agreement
With changes.
with subject to changes based upon need.
do I hear a second?
I will second.
I hear, Ron second? Thank
Yes.
you, Ron.
Can I have a question then?
Okay, question, more discussion, go ahead.
Yeah, are we then, when it's all changed, then gonna vote for the final approval after we see it and it's all written down? I mean, we're not accepting it tonight, right? Because we don't know what. the changes
She's
are.
accepting it with the changes that we mentioned.
Yeah. So,
So you're a no.
But you'd like to see.
This would be approving it.
I'd like to see a final copy before we approve it, but that's just me.
I agree with that.
So we can table this?
Let's table it. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm for all the things we're talking about.
Okay, we can table it. That's your call.
Yeah,
That's your call. You guys want to table it? We'll table it. Till you see the final draft.
What I will do is make those changes and send it to our insurance company to see then if there's any additional changes before you guys approve it.
That's a good idea.
yeah,
Okay.
in case there's
Good
any
idea.
problems.
Okay,
Good, thank you.
this one will be tabled till the next meeting. Okay, that's done. Unfinished business, nothing. Other business, COVID-19 updates. Michelle?
I have no updates.
Okay.
Everybody reads.
Any other public input? Now's the time to talk. You have the floor. It's all yours. Anybody? I got my mic on, so I'll shut it off if you want me to. Nobody? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Moved in second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank everybody for coming. We do have a workshop right in a few minutes, couple minutes.
Yeah, we have workshop and I mean, you're more than welcome to stay if you like. It's a public meeting.
It is. And everybody be on the lookout for trick or treaters coming up. I'm still buying candy.
Mike got his ice cream machine going at our house.
I got candy left over from Cheese Day.
Good, I can't
You'll
wait.
have to come by, get an ice cream.
Ice cream, geez,
I
that's
know.
right up
He
my
bought-
alley.
He bought a big ice cream machine.
Really?
Yeah, and he made ice cream in it last night. 3 gallons of liquid, he made ice cream. So he's making chocolate for Halloween.
You guys ready to jump in? Okay. So first off on the your budget workshop, the goals for 2021, I have a copy here. There was improved budget for city street, issues with groundwater infiltration on 3rd Street. I don't know where we're at with any of that, Mike. Yeah, on 3rd Street, infiltration on 3rd Street. You were here for our goals last year. So is there problems with groundwater infiltration on 3rd Street? No, just probably storm drains, I would say. Issues with groundwater infiltration on 3rd Street. We might be able to take that one off our list. I'd have to look back on my notes to see why we had that. I figured you guys knew what it was about. And work towards trail system and partnerships. We really haven't done anything on that. Transportation, transit, streetscaping. I mean, really haven't been able to do a whole lot. Updates to City Hall. Actually, I should have announced that I went on vacation for just a few days, and the rest of the staff was amazing. They totally gutted my office. I had carpet that was all like wrinkly and just in really sad shape. They tore the carpet out, repainted all my walls, put in new hardwood flooring. And that was, I mean, Devin and Jill and our public works, Mike and John. And I was totally shocked when I walked into my office. It was different.
And
Beautiful.
And they hid their cars, so they were all inside the office when she opened the door.
And they came early to work because they know usually I try to get to work early, and they were there before I got there. I think they got there at 7:15. So Sam said he has something to do with it, but I'm not really sure about that.
I walked in and said, I have any part of this.
They thought I was all going to go into a panic attack or something. So there has been improvements then on City Hall, but not the whole City Hall. Just my office. Yeah, my spot.
The
And
most
I mean,
important room in the whole building. You
yeah,
kidding
the
me?
front part of City Hall was actually done 2 years ago. We repainted and did new flooring in there. So it looks really good already.
Didn't you
too.
say that carpet's been there since you've been here working?
At least it's over 30 years old.
Over 30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
You imagine the dust and.
And
all
then
that.
new water meters, we've been working on that. So that goal is going pretty well, and hopefully we could get that finished this next year. So additional goals or thoughts?
Yes.
Turn your mic on.
I would like to see the city of Toledo have a website. And my husband has offered to take that on, perhaps. However, this is open to anyone. And so, okay,
Yeah,
so
actually,
that's
I've been-
amazing. So I don't care who does it. I just want it to happen.
Yeah. So yeah.
Just an awesome website. It can be simple, it can be beautiful, and it's updated, and it's perhaps interact. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she did a prototype probably a couple months ago, and
Yeah.
I've just been so swamped. I
Totally,
haven't
and
gone in
I
to make
agree. I mean,
suggestions.
this is the time to do it. So maintainable, and we could get grants for, I mean, we're a 5G community. We should have a website that is.
So
That
speaking of that being the case, and I know this doesn't affect the entire city, but I would love for us to work for maybe getting some grants where we could move to a paperless system coming into meetings, because we have all these papers every couple of weeks. It would be nice to be able to just, even if we were just working off of some cheap little Chromebook or whatever, where you could just put it all together, attach it to an email. There it is. We could hop on, flip through the
Yeah, that was a
stuff.
suggestion I actually made like 2-3 years ago, I think, and council wasn't too keen on it quite yet.
Oh, well, I think it would probably make it a little easier on you, wouldn't it? And it would make it easier that then they wouldn't have to get dropped off and we'd be done.
Ron's got a question.
But just a thought, I think it would be important environmentally.
Yeah, it's not really a question. It's actually a comment to what Shelley's saying. It's because I need to leave for Idaho before my packet came. So it all showed up to me electronically from my daughter. So, and it was actually every bit as convenient to utilize as the written copies. And so just for what it's worth, I think it's a good idea.
And we could, scan the packets and send them to your
Emails?
email that's through the city too. So,
But in doing that, then if I'm doing city business on my personal PC, then does it not become,
Yes, it does.
and no, thank you.
If you do certain things, yes.
Yeah,
So like if you answer, if you send an email to Emily and CC Gary, yes. If you're just looking at your packet information and stuff and just using your city email only, for that city business, you're fine.
And I think the key is the city email rather than your personal email.
Definitely, definitely.
Like when your phone is your computer.
Well, and, Shelley, I mean, if we want to look, we've got I call it the COVA money, the ARPA funds. And that is something that we could use ARPA funds for too, is, we could purchase, like you said, iPads, little Chromebooks, whatever, that makes it easy
Something.
for you guys. And the ones that want to check that out could, do it that way.
That's a good
You
idea.
bring it to the meeting and you'd have all the information. So that would be something that we
You would
could
have to
look
get an old
into
system.
the costs and get that back to you guys and see if it's something you want to do.
That's a good idea.
I just think the Chromebooks, you can't do you can't store a whole lot on them, which you don't need to
Don't
do.
need
You
to.
just need to be able to open that email,
Yeah.
look at your stuff, do any of the other training fun that is attached to some of the duties. And I don't know. I just think it's being a, city that is supposed to be so tech savvy and
Right, well,
I'm just saying, and plus,
I like that idea. It's good.
save you a lot of time at the copier and the whole deal.
I know, and some people just like paper though too. And I'll admit, I'm one of those people. I like to touch and I like to feel and stuff. And I find it difficult to go back and forth sometimes when you're talking about something, but and I could have a couple packets available for anybody that wants a paper copy.
Well, I know going back a few years with some of our other council members was the same way. They like to feel it, touch it,
Mhm.
look at it,
Mhm.
scratch, scribble notes on it, whatever.
Right.
They liked all that above, but now we're new council, new things, we can move forward.
So what other goals are you guys thinking about for 2022? And we don't have to come up with everything tonight either. Like I said, we'll have some more workshops where, keep all your stuff that we talk about in these budget workshops together, because we will go back to them. And if you have any thoughts or ideas of things you want changed, we'll talk about it. So the other thing on the agenda is property tax. So this is always a confusing thing. And so I just kind of wanted to share, what their property tax rates have been per $1,000 assessed valuation. What the real and personal valuation, you could see, over from 20 to 21, it really jumped up $8 million. So the property rate went down because there is the 1% we can't go above. And so all this information is in this packet. I know that generally the assessor's office will do some training if you want her to come to a meeting too. Basically, there is a limit. There's a lot of factors that go into property taxes. And there is a limit of, $5.90 aggregate or $3.66 maximum. So we could ask for $1 million for property tax, but we can't collect that. We could only collect, a certain percentage over the previous year. So property taxes is split between current expense and city street. It helps pay for your policing and stuff. So right now, this last year, we were able to get a whopping $77,000. So like I said, that is split between city streets fund and current expense, and it helps keep streets paved. And I think most of you know, splitting it between that and the police department, you're not getting a whole lot done for $77,000. So we could only ask for 1% above that, plus any new construction. So there's just some information there. We have to pass a property tax, huh? Okay, I'll get back to you, Ron. We have to pass our property tax levy in November, by November 30th, and have it to the county. So we will be doing that the next couple meetings. They're supposed to get us information out on if we have any bank capacity and stuff. And generally, they get it to us mid-November sometime, but we still have to pass all our ordinances by the end of November. So it's kind of a catch-22. It makes it really hard. There is a senior exemption if you make less than $40,000, or a disabled exemption also. So that information is here. So I know a lot of people are concerned about our elderly in the community or disabled. So there is requirements. So there are some exemptions. So that information's here. Ron, what was your question on property taxes?
Was just a clarification, if I understand right, the total that we can increase it is like $800. Is that correct?
You would be correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
the total we can increase is around $800 was his question.
And
So-
that is not as much a matter of what assessed values are as how much we can actually levy, because that's what we're limited by. So if they increase the value of the property on the assessment, then as far as the city goes, the rate that we can collect at goes down. If they lower the appraised values or assessed values, then they actually, then our rate, they never do that, but they would go up. Is that correct?
Correct. So basically what Ron's talking about is the assessed valuation of your home. So if they raise your assessed value really high, you'll see the rate that we can collect will go down. If for some strange reason your assessed valuation went low, then your rate could be higher. And of course, this is split between so many other things too, voted on levies with, fire districts, school districts, anything like that. You have, cemetery districts, all these junior taxing agencies. So some of them kind of get kicked out if, everything else is at a certain level, because there is a limit of tax rate that's non-voted. So the voted on, like your school levies and stuff, could be higher. So that's on your tax stuff. And then real quickly, the one sheet, I wanted to kind of go over the different funds, and that's your salmon color. And basically, I know other people say you don't want to think about it this way, but to me, I think it's a really easy concept. You think about each fund as its own separate checking account. So you can't take money from one fund to pay another fund and things like that. So it kind of explains our funds and what can be spent in those funds, what they are, what's included. So just if you guys have any questions, let me know on that. And then Ron, you didn't get this tonight because my computer system was down on Thursday and Friday. And so I was not able to run reports. So the stuff on your desk tonight are the revenues that I have figured out for the year 2022. And I'm not going to go line item by line item. The top sheet kind of shows the 2021, what our budgeted revenues were, and what we've gotten year to date. And you can see that, like in current expense, we had figured we were going to get 381,268, and we're at 470. A lot of that is because those extra COVID funds and ARPA funds that we had no idea that we would be, getting in. So, and then it just kind of goes through. I don't have the expenditures yet. I'll have those for you for what's for 2022, but I do have the expenditures that we had budgeted and year to date as of to date on that sheet. So you can kind of see where we're at with everything. The only one that looks like it's in the red, but it really isn't, is your city street construction fund and your water sewer capital improvement, because I don't have the beginning balances there. I try to get you guys thinking about, what we spend, what we receive in a year, you try to spend that. But obviously, if there's a project that needs to be done, we've been, putting money into our water sewer capital improvement fund so that we have some matching funds. Grants nowadays are really hard to come by. You generally do not get a 100% grant for anything anymore. That's a big cost item, especially because we're not into that low to moderate income level. So we don't qualify for CDBG anymore, or at this time. So we would have to more than likely have a match to any other type of grant. Or if we had even a loan, if we have cost overruns, I mean, that's a couple terrible words to say, cost overruns, but it does happen. And then we would be able to pull from that to be able to pay for any cost overruns. So on that too, in that 410 fund, you can see where it has like the loans. Our loan payments for this year is 166,329. We have 3 loans that are out, and next year it'll be very close to that amount. And one of our loans will be retiring next year, and I want to say our payment on that is, I think, around $34,000 a year. And then we have a smaller loan that's going to be retiring again in 2023. And I think it's around $10,000 annually. So our big loan will still be out there. It's like 130,000, around that amount. And I think we have another 10, 15 years on that. I can bring that information to you guys at the next meeting. So good thing is we do have a couple loans retiring soon, and that will be nice. Do you guys have any questions on the revenues? So what I want to do at our next meeting is I will give you all the expenditure numbers. We'll dive deep into that. I will have numbers on insurance costs. I'll be talking about wages, and we'll start just beating each other up over that and where we're at. So is there anything else you guys feel you need from me or questions? Please, come to City Hall, ask me, call me. I'm open to any conversation at all.
Office.
Come see your new office.
Yeah.
Come see my new office. Yeah. With that, Mayor, if there's no other comments or questions, you can close the meeting.
We will close the meeting. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, Ron.